Following a chaotic race at Daytona, the PissCup field remains shaken. However, it is hard to tell if these 42 drivers are prepared to tackle 250 miles of black coffee, eyeliner, and existential dread. Hello everyone, my name is Clable, and welcome back for the second race of the NR 2003 PissCup Series here at Atlanta Motor Speedway as we prepare you for the first ever running of the Goth iHOP 250. The first driver we got to talk about is last week's winner, Jeremy Isley. Isley, who sounded confused during the PissCup post-race show, says he feels fine and is looking to go back-to-back here at Atlanta. Will he be able to charge from the rear of this field to claim victory? We're gonna have to see. DJ Khaled Racing Academy has been under the spotlight this past week as Grayson Thibodeau leads the field here to green today. Thibodeau went on a fiery rant towards his teammate Zorgan 194 after last week's accident and has been warned by the team to keep his behavior in check. And lastly, let's talk about James Allyeim. Many in the PissCup garage are furious with Allyeim for one reason and one reason only. He's very annoying. Allyeim is looking to squash any beef as the season continues, but one thing is for certain, he'll need to tone it down some or else the beef will carry on to the racetrack. Now, let's take you trackside for the command. To give the command for today's Goth iHOP 250, it's the winner of the Season 4 Shitona 500 and will be starting dead last tomorrow for the Femboy Hooters 500. The driver for Order 66 Racing, it's Joey Shrekowski!
All right, my drivers, I got many questions for you. What did we find out was for dinner last week? Piss! It's what's for dinner. So, on that note, drivers, fuel your piss jugs!
Thank you, Joey Shrekowski, our reigning Shitona 500 champion. Much congratulations to him. We'd also like to thank the Agent Ada Bagel Foundation for providing the starting lineup on the left side of your screen. The Agent Ada Bagel Foundation always coming in clutch here for PissCup and Shitcup. Speaking of coming in clutch, we got to talk about our Clable Cult members. Thank you to the folks on the right side of your screen for supporting the Clable YouTube channel. By becoming a member today for only $1.99 by clicking the join button down below, you get access to emojis in our live chats, behind the scenes, and more. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel by becoming a Clable Cult member. And if you can't do so, that's totally okay. You can always like and subscribe here today. Thank you all for becoming members of the Clable Cult. 33 laps of racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Grayson Thibodeau and his Oregon 194 are going to lead us to green flag here today. Beef between the teammates coming into today's race. Will the beef get resolved? We're going to have to see. Toby Tony trying not to flip here once again. And the real question is, can Jeremy Isley make up the ground and go back-to-back? We're going to have to see as the piss car, the red piss car, goes off the pit lane. 33 laps of exciting racing are going to happen here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Who will go to victory lane and drink the piss? We shall see as the green flag is underway here at Atlanta. Solid start for Thibodeau on the inside, but that outside lane is going to be the preferred line as Zorgian trying to hold on, but they're going to remain side by side off of turn 2. Toby Tony leaving him a little bit of a gap as they go into turn 3 and 4. He's got blah, blah, blah all over him as they go into turn 3 and 4. Already 3 wide in the pack. That's Loser Duck the 10th as they come off of turn 4. Grayson Thibodeau will lead lap 1 here at Atlanta. As there's that 3 wide racing we were going to get to here. Look at all of these cars all over the place as they go off of turn 2. Zorgian trying to catch Thibodeau as they go down the back straightaway. Gay Boners. And there's Low Budget, the favorite possibly last week. Oh, I thought almost contact back there. Wackenbush Jr. the 3rd. As off of turn 4 once again. Lap led. Going to Grayson Thibodeau. Toby Tony still in 3rd. Blah, blah, blah rounding out the top 4. And then Bruno Battaglia in 5th. Still 3 wide in this pack. Danny Fishberger leading the inside charge. There's Roman Bellick to his outside. Charlie Voderbeck trying to get to the inside as well as they're 4 wide back here. That's Bethamphetamine. 4 wide again. Oh, contact! Jarvis Etheridge gets turned on the front straightaway. Caution is out. Etheridge gets turned. I can see involved. Nate Greatness as well, as they had already made it to the start-finish line, so they're going to race it back. Actually, half the field had already made it. Oh, they wrecked in turn 3 and 4, it looks like as well. Charlie Voderbeck with damage. Huge contact already here at Atlanta. And, oh, Grayson Thibodeau lost the lead. Zorgan 194 to the point here at Atlanta. Yeah, there are the skid marks going into turn 1 and 2. We had ourselves a huge collision into turn 3 and 4, and the caution is already out here at Atlanta. We didn't even make it 5 laps. Damn. Oh, they're hitting under caution. Oh, Grayson Thibodeau gets into the back of Bruno Battaglia. Already problems here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Is anyone going to pit? We're going to have to see. Doesn't look like it, as the caution is out for the first time here today at Atlanta. Let's go ahead and see what happened. So here we are on the Clayable cam going into turn 3 and 4. Etheridge makes it 3 wide. He's got Harold Claude on the inside, and Harold goes up, gets Etheridge, and that causes the crash. Nate Greatness into the wall, but now we're going to go on TV2 and see what happened going into turn 1 and 2. Here we are on Charlie Voderbeck. They're going into turn 1 and 2, and Riddle McGriddle gets into Voderbeck, collects Larson, Horace McClusterfuck, and there's McGriddle getting turned around. Nowhere to go for a bunch of these drivers, and that is what brings out the first caution here today at Atlanta. Huge damage to Lyman Larson. Caution's already happening here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Zorgan 194 able to get by Grayson Thibodeau as they raced back to the caution flag. Zorgan 194 will be your leader. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Goth iHOP 250 here on the Clayable YouTube channel. Those involved in that crash includes What in Tarnation, Thomas Etheridge, I Can See, Nate Greatness, and then we got 2 DNFs here today, Horace McClusterfuck and Lyman Larson. Lyman Larson will start on the pole for next week's Pocono race at Pocono. Should be an exciting one as they're about to go back green flag racing. Zorgan 194 still leading your field, and there's Tony. What a comeback it would be if Tony were to go to victory lane after a bunch of bad luck in these PissCup races, as the green flag is back in the air. Fantastic start for Tony on the outside. Zorgan very slow off the jump there. Tony able to pull ahead. Bruno Battaglia now showing off his shit cup experience. He's to the outside of Bob Blah Blah as they come off of turn 1 and 2 here. And Charlie Voderbeck was also involved. I did, in fact, fuck it. Voderbeck with some damage, although still in the middle of this pack. That's why the field is kind of getting split apart. Here's a 3 wide. Ding Dong, Caden Lemon, Earth Blue Balls as they go into turn 1 and 2. As we're going to focus on that battle for the lead. Tony still leading as now Bob Blah Blah moves into second place. There's Katui Kobayashi moving into third, and Grayson Thibodeau now going to get back underneath his teammate there, as now Bruno Battaglia rounds it up in 6th. There's Low Budget. Riddle McGriddle, who caused that crash, currently running outside the top 20. Wackenbush Jr. the third, joining them as well as they're 3 wide back here. There's Jeremy Isley. He's starting to make moves. Can the hometown brand of Hooters get a victory here today with Jeremy Isley? We'll have to see. Coors 6-pack liqueurs in the middle of 3 wide. Harold Clott nowhere to go there as well. I'll be back. Looks like he has something wrong with the car. He's very slow, actually competing with Nate Greatness, who was involved in that crash. Etheridge running pretty solidly, as Tony still leads here at Atlanta as they go down the back straightaway. Ding Dong able to clear Whit Cornett. Whit Cornett in any position. What a beef to talk about. There's Benjamin Cole behind them. Jam Cole Motorsports and Whit Cornett have some beef. I don't know what's going on, but there is beef between Whit Cornett and Jam Cole Motorsports. Got to keep an eye on these two as they're still side by side. Caden Lemon looking to the inside of Danny Fishberger as they go into 1 and 2. Annie position back here. Great run last week for Annie position, getting a top 5 in the piss. That's what's for dinner. 300 at Daytona. I almost said shit-tona 500. I almost fucked it. As Ding Dong creating a gap here. Ding Dong currently running just outside the top 10 as the top 10 is kind of pulled away a little bit as Toby Tony still leading here at Atlanta, but Katui Kobayashi closing right in. Grayson Thibodeau, your top 3. Side by side here for 5th. That's low budget. And Zorgan 194. Now Fat Bitch wants to make it 3 wide, possibly going into the corner with Gay Boners following behind. Interesting top 10 here, and all of these drivers looking just to improve on their runs that they had last week, as here comes Katui Kobayashi to the inside of Toby Tony for the lead. Katui went flying last week in the pits. It's what's for dinner 300, but now your pole sitter Grayson Thibodeau wants to move back into the front of this field to the inside, going into turn 3 and 4. Fat Bitch closing in on Zorgan. Zorgan looks a little slow, and that outside lane's going to work very well here as Katui able to keep that top spot as Bob Blah Blah just kind of waiting in the wings here. As Ding Dong in that second pack has finally caught the lead pack here. Can any of these guys start to make moves towards the front as they go down the back straightaway once again? Annie position to the inside of Cyber Scourge. That's Earth Blue Balls to the inside of Caden Lemon. They are battling, looks like, for that 17th and 16th spot. Give it to Earth Blue Balls coming off of turn 4. Methamphetamine for Dare Racing next to another single car driver right there. Isaac Perdomo for La Mera Verga Motorsports. Great run for Isaac Perdomo. I said one. Great run for Isaac Perdomo. Oh, Roman Bellick. Almost contact there, but they save it. As I was saying, great run last week for Isaac Perdomo, able to get a top 5 in the Pistons What's for Dinner 300. He's currently one of those top guys that started towards the front. Could possibly be your points leader if the things shake out well for him as we go back to the front of this field. It looks like Bob Blah Blah has moved to the front of this field here in the Goth iHOP 250 here in Atlanta. And if you're enjoying today's race, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely appreciate you guys joining for another day of PissCup action here on the Claybill YouTube channel as Bob Blah Blah leads lap 18 there. Thomas Etheridge really slow. Same with Charlie Voderbeck as we go to the back of this field. Not running good is six-pack LaCours. LaCours trying their best and actually drank limo with damage as well, but it looks like Toaster Rodriguez. As we look at the scoring board here, Toaster Rodriguez out of the race with a gearbox problem. Problems for Toaster Rodriguez, second DNF in a row for Five Guys Wrecking My Guts Motorsports. You guys will see it on the ticker in just a minute here. Toaster Rodriguez out of today's race. Disappointing results there. As now Bob Blah Blah is going to give up that lead to Toby Tony once again. Tony wants to lead more laps, and as you can see, Rodriguez 9 laps down. He is out of today's race. As Toby Tony going to move back into the top spot, able to clear Bob Blah Blah going into turn 1 and 2 as we're almost nearing 10 laps to go. Very short race here today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But that is what happens when you run the Piss Cup Series against the Shit Cup Series. You're going to have quicker races, and here comes another quick car. That's low budget. The guy who looked like the fan favorite last week, he's to the inside of Toby Tony as they go into 1 and 2, and low budget for Klottenheimer moves into the top spot. Great run for low budget. Here comes his teammate, Bob Blah Blah. He looks to move into the front spot here. Loser Duck the 10th trying to get back up here. Another driver for DJ Khaled Racing Academy as low budget is pulling away here from the field. Game froze for a second. Alrighty, blah, blah, blah back into second. 3 wide back there. That's Grayson Thibodeau. Oh, never mind. Ding Dong and Fat Bitch side by side. As Low Budget's going to come around turn 3 and 4 this time by. He'll take 10 laps to go here in the Goth iHOP 250. Bob Blah Blah still in second. What a run for DJ Khaled Racing Academy and Klottenheimer. They got 2 of their cars in the top 5 each. As here comes Gabe Boners to the inside. Toby Tony going to follow as well. Tony's led the most laps here today, 9, but Low Budget still an opportunity to take away the most laps led, as off of turn 4, Low Budget is going to take 9 laps to go here at Atlanta. Gabe Boners closing in. We're going to go through your top 10. Low Budget currently leading. Bob Blah Blah is in second. Gabe Boners and Zorgan 194 battling for that 4th spot with Toby Tony rounding out your top 5. Here comes Danny Fishberger. Haven't talked about him here today. He moves into 6th with Loser Duck the 10th. And Benjamin Cole rounding up your 7th and 8th spots with Roman Bellick. And then Katui Kobayashi rounding out your top 10. Then you got Ding Dong, Grayson Thibodeau, Bruno Battaglia, Fat Bitch, and Andy Position rounding out your top 15. Whit Cornett on the outside. These two got a little bit of beef. Got to keep an eye on these two as Caden Lemon to the inside of Whit Cornett as they go into the corner. That is for 15th. Then Earth Blue Balls and Methamphetamine battling for that 16th and 17th position. And there's 3 wide back here. What in tarnation? Cyber Skirts. Here's the 3211 drivers battling as well. Then behind them, Cockham McFuckham, Johnny Spins, Aaron the Fan Man had a great run last week in the Pistons was for dinner 300. Not going to carry over here today. He's battling Isaac Perdomo for that spot. There's Harold Klott. I'll be back. Not the greatest run you can have for Arnold. Albies Racing and Learning Department, whatever you want to call it. Riddle McGriddle will be talked about after this race as he's already been. Oh, they're wrecking in front! Harold Klott gets an Isaac Perdomo! Caution is out here late in Atlanta. Problems for Harold Klott and Isaac Perdomo. And we will have ourselves a late race restart. Contact going into turn 3 and 4 as the caution is out. Low Budget still leading. And who do these guys want to pit? What's going on with the Low Budget? No, Budget letting the pace car by. Never mind. We are all good here. Problems for Isaac Perdomo. Harold Klott and them got into some contact. Let's go ahead and see what happened in turn 3 and 4. Here we are on the Cable-copter cam again, and honestly, I don't know what was going on with Harold Klott here. He gets to the inside, and he just wrecks Isaac Perdomo. Just puts him in the outside wall, runs him over. And that is the reason for our caution late here in the Goth iHOP 250. We'll be back in just a moment for the restart. Very minimal laps here to go at Atlanta. Low Budget will be your leader. Will he be able to survive and claim a victory here today? We shall see. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, and Isaac Perdomo, the only one involved in an accident. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be shocking to hear. We do not have PissCup overtime, but we do in fact have 2 laps of racing to go when we go back green flag racing. Low Budget and Zorgan 194 will lead us to the green. Low Budget and Toby Tony currently tied for most laps led, so realistically it's all going to be about the jump on the outside. We saw it earlier with Toby Tony able to get the lead back, and now will Zorgan 194 have the same luck as the PissCup red piss car is going to pull off 2 laps to decide it here in the Goth iHOP 250. Will it be Budget? Will it be Zorgan 194? Will it be one of these guys in the pack as the green flag is back in the air? Even start there, Low Budget. And there's Roman Bellick already making it 3 wide. If they do not make it, oh, blah, 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 makes it 3 wide for the lead on his teammate. What a move by blah, 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 but unable to clear. He does clear. Blah, blah, blah in the front. 3 wide in the back. Danny Fish Fishburger to the inside. What a move! If they don't make it back, we'll have another restart. It's going to be Fishburger and blah, blah, blah. White flag in the air. What a run for Klottenheimer as Danny Fishburger and blah, blah, blah race each other into 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Tony behind. Tony looks to make it 3 wide going into 3 and 4. But does not have the run. Danny Fishburger off the final corner for Klottenheimer is going to win the Goth iHOP 250. What a battle between the Klottenheimer teammates. Wow, what an exciting finish as they wreck on the front straightaway. Isaac Perdomo and Drake Limmel. Huge hit for Perdomo. Same can be said for Limmel. What a move by Danny Fishburger, and he only led the final lap. What a move for Klottenheimer. Klottenheimer able to get 1st, 3rd, and 5th here today at Atlanta. We're going to go check to see what happened to Drake Limmel and Isaac Perdomo on the front straightaway. Well, we talked about him in the pre-race, and this is not going to help him get any more favoritism. Gets into Riddle McGriddle, collects Drake Limmel. Limmel trying to beat greatness to the line, can't do so. Perdomo, oh, huge hit for Isaac Perdomo and Drake Limmel on the front straightaway. Limmel able to finish 38th here today, but not going to be a fan of James All Yime after that one. Danny Fishburger for Klottenheimer wins the Goth iHOP 250 after starting 5th on the final restart and only led the last lap. Danny Fishburger here wins today over Tony, who led the most laps, along with Low Budget. Him and Low Budget tied for most laps led here today. Ding Dong able to recover to get himself a 7th place finish and another great run for Andy Position. They round out your top 10. Zorgan 194 ran up front all of today, but unable to get himself a top 10 run. He finishes in 14th. One Intarnation involved in that accident. They get 17th. And last week's winner, Jeremy Isley, rounding up your top 20. And look at how far Grayson Thibodeau fell. He started on the pole and finishes 24th. Not the run that you wanted. And then Harold Klott, the leader of that team at Klottenheimer, finishes 28th here today. Then you got Riddle McGriddle and James All Yime, both of those guys involved in the accident here today. Not going to be a lot of favoritism towards those two. Thomas Etheridge involved in the accident early, so was Nate Greatness. And then Drake Limmel and Isaac Perdomo involved in the crash late. And then you got Toaster Rodriguez with that gearbox failure late in the race. He'll start 3rd next week at Pocono. And as you can see, Horace McClusterfuck and Lyman Larson, not a great run for either of those two. They'll start on the front row for next week's race at Pocono. Now, here are your updated PissCup point standings with Andy Position with back-to-back top 10 runs. The only driver in the series with back-to-back top 10 runs. They lead by 4 points over Danny Fishburger and 6 over Jeremy Isley. Roman Bug with a nice run. They're able to get inside the top 5. I fucked it there with Aaron the Fan Man rounding up your top 10. Ding Dong moves into 11th position here with Wackenbush Jr. the 3rd behind them. Isaac Perdomo with their crash here today relegates them back 13 spots into 15th. And as you can see in here to this next page, Katui Kobayashi 21st. Harold Klott able to lose 8 spots here today. And then Thomas Etheridge loses 15 spots. They drop back to 23rd. And talk about a loss of momentum here. Nate Greatness drops 19 spots, finishes 37th after finishing top 10 last week. And then you got Cockham McFuckham in 31st, Charlie Voderbeck in 34th. James All Yime drops back 18 spots. Those two, Voderbeck and Yime, dropping 18 spots. Zorgan 194 and Grayson Thibodeau really couldn't take advantage of that track position. They'll be starting towards the middle pack of the field, but unable to do much with their runs here today. And then as you can see, Drake Limmel and Toaster Rodriguez back-to-back DNFs for Toaster Rodriguez. He is the only driver alongside Horace McClusterfuck with 2 DNFs here in PissCup. We'll be back in either a week or 2 weeks' time, I haven't decided yet, for the Poke Oh No 200 at Poke Oh No. It should be very fantastic to watch, and I'd like to thank you all so much for watching another edition of the PissCup series here on the Claybull YouTube channel. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, as always, Take it easy.